MRT now, it's like they don't go all places, but I heard that MRT is going everywhere. So I think it's a good thing because I'm a student. I need to travel every day. So I think it's a good progress. It's a good move from the government.
Yeah, I personally believe this is a good project for the people of Malaysia because this is going to be ease the traffic jam condition for the people. We can park our car in the MRT station and go to work.
To comfort the people, they can easily travel.
I think more better because kita nak kurangkan daripada kesesakan lalu lintas. So saya rasa benda tu bagus untuk semua pengguna Malaysia sendiri.
Ooh, this is going to be a big,
that was a big cut. I didn't even realise.
Sorry?
I was like, oh.
So
I was listening to her.
You're listening to her.
Right.
Well, this is all about the mass rail transit here, a new rail transport system for the Klang Valley. The Sungai Buloh Kajang SBK line will run for 51 kilometres, and upon completion it will comprise 31 stations and serve 1.2 million people along the route.
Hopefully, probably a lot more. Now, we'll also have strategic integration with the KL's existing networks, of course. But to tell us more about this project, we have on the set with us Encik Amir, Mahmood, Razak. We've got our resident fly with us as well,
yes,
who
very happy
never
to
says
welcome
anything.
you.
So Amir, the Director of Strategic Communication PR, MRT Corporation, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having
on
us.
this lovely morning.
Indeed, lovely morning.
As usual.
So we're all very excited about this project. Now, just a little bit, a brief of, it's one of 3 projects?
Yes, as we are excited as well. Actually, this SBK line, or Sungai Buloh Kajang line, is the first of 3 lines that will eventually form part of this big infrastructure in KL. But this is all part of the ETP, or Economic Transformation Plan, for Greater KL and Klang Valley.
Right.
But the first line is our focus right now. 51 kilometres, Sungai Buloh Kajang, 31 stations, 9.5 kilometres underground. And as those people said on TV just now, they're excited. So are we, because we are going to... This could be the game changer for Kuala Lumpur. Right. Not necessarily the silver bullet, but this integration with other systems is going to be the game changer.
Now, obviously, the big question is, why has it been so late for I mean, we've had the LRT. Why has it been so late? Is it budgetary concerns? I mean, these are... You could go into politics and talk about it, but from a business point of view, why has it come so late? And now we're talking about it because obviously there's a lot of costs involved.
Obviously, I think that's exactly probably the problem. Which I think when the government first started planning rail transport in the country, in terms of mass rail transport. Oh, what's supposed to say?
Mike, yes.
When we first started the rail transport plan, I think they wanted to do a mass rapid transit system, but I think cost was a big issue in this. Because cost is a big issue, and there are other things the government needs to invest on. So they came up with the LRT first.
Right.
I'm presuming this, right? But yes, it is not a cheap project to undertake, but the government feels that it has to bite the bullet now because we've got massive traffic jams in KL today. Yeah. And we need a transportation system which the world can speak of. I was talking before the show started. If we go to London or to Singapore or to Hong Kong, we take nothing but the public transportation system.
Right.
But in Malaysia, we tend not to.
We're not very pedestrian friendly.
Well,
one is the weather. But Singapore, however, I mean, I hate having to say it because across the border we have the same type of weather, but they do. Very pedestrian friendly. What's going to be different though between our MRT compared to the existing ones that they have around the world?
I think it's not going to be different in the sense that it's going to be, it's probably going to be the same in terms of what it wants to do is to reach out to as many people as possible. Right. In Shanghai, for example, you walk 10 minutes, you'll get to an MRT station.
Exactly.
So that's what we want to do with the 3 lines.
Right.
Also, we will be able to transport 20,000 people per hour per direction. Right. Technically, from 7 to 9, I can take 40,000 people from, let's say, the Sungai Buloh station to here, to... sorry, this is not Sri Pentas. I'm confused.
This is
to Bandar Utama.
Yeah, different. Salam.
In Bandar Utama. So I can take, if we say 20,000 people in 1 hour, if we assume every morning you drive 1 car, you drive 1 car, I drive 1 car, that could be potentially 20,000 cars off the road.
Oh, yes.
Exactly.
That's a massive improvement. And other forms of public transport like buses and taxis can now be a little bit more reliable because we're taking other cars off the road.
Yes.
Okay, I've got a gazillion questions.
A gazillion
Yes,
questions.
In terms of
Go ahead.
no, it was just from experience and just taking a lot of public transport. Now, obviously, the concerns were when we first mooted the idea of having an MRT was accessibility, locations. How was it? I mean, obviously, you had to take in account a lot of people's points of view, but how did you guys decide which stations would be where? And bearing in mind, you said earlier that it has to be 10-minute accessibility between stations and all that as well.
Well, that is what Shanghai did. I think when the whole 3 lines are ready, we'll have that kind of integration as well.
Right.
The first thing the government did, or at that point, was Suruhanjaya Pengangkutan Awam Darat, or SPAD. What they did was looked at where there was a rail gap, an urban rail gap. And I think if you live in Cheras, I'm sure lots of people here live in Cheras, you will know that there's like hundreds of taman perumahan there.
That's
and
right.
there's no rail transport. So that was
Exactly.
that was a key part of the alignment from KL Cheras towards to Kajang.
Right.
Then up in Sungai Buloh as well, there's only commuter there. There's no
Yes.
other form of rail
Exactly.
transport.
My
So this is what they did. They found an alignment from Sungai Buloh all the way down to Kajang, which has a catchment, a population catchment of 1.03 million people.
That's quite a lot.
Right, so we're talking about 400,000 people a day. That's the target ridership that will be riding on this system when it's ready in December 2016. The first phase up to Samantan, and the full phase in July 2017. So that was the first thing they did, find that. And then the locations of the stations, it was at the proposed alignment. There were a few stations located where there's a big catchment. Bandar Utama is a huge catchment. Cheras, there's like maybe 5 or 10 stations there which are in main catchment areas.
Right.
Then we had the public displays. People can say, oh, this station shouldn't be here, this is not good. And then we made some amendments. I think the Taman Tun station was moved and the section 16 station was abolished. We just kept the section 17 station. Kajang was realigned to meet some requirements of the people there.
Right.
But the answer to your question is, the decision is based on where the catchment is, but also where it least impacts people negatively.
Right.
In
Least
terms of?
land acquisition, in terms of there is what is called a railway protection zone, a 6-meter zone from the edge of the track or the parapet, that you cannot have any buildings around it.
Exactly, yeah.
So if you have less buildings around there, then your acquisition cost is lower. We want to keep this cost low, right? So that's one of the reasons why alignment runs a certain way and not a particular way. Because if you go this way, probably you're going to have to acquire more land, more land, right? So this is one of the reasons why the alignment was chosen.
So when it comes to seamless integration, I mean, I'm sure, that would be the next phase. Because, in Singapore, you have shopping malls that kind of lead to the MRT stations. Now, in the project itself, how would that integration be to make it more convenient?
That's a key part of any public transport system is for you to integrate with buildings, with office buildings and malls. And I think from the offset, we have a few areas where we already integrated very well. We integrated with the curve, near the curve. It's called Suryan Tower, I think, the building.
Yes, that's
and
right.
You're integrated with...
literally next door.
You're almost integrated with TV3 buildings, Sri Pentas and Wandutama. You are going to be integrated with very close to in Samantan, it is right next to the United Nations building. So you have a big catchment of office
Yes, that's
area
right.
there.
Because that area, especially public transport, buses and all that, because
parking
one is on a hill.
Yes.
So you've always had the...
Our office is there and parking is really horrendous there.
Exactly.
In KL Central, you integrate there. We integrate as well with some malls along Jalan Cheras, and of course, in the end, the last station in Sungai Buloh, in Kajang, we integrate with the commuter station.
Yes.
But other than the existing integration, what we want to do is certain areas which not we want to do, but there's a potential. If there's a station, for example, in Kota Damansara, which is nothing around it, there's a potential for a developer or the owner of the land around there to build something functional. We're talking about Bangkok. What was the name of that station again that people go to eat? Chatsat. So people go there to eat. There's also a station further down.
Shopping and everything.
Shopping. And there's another station further down where you have a pet mall.
Right.
Everybody goes there to get pet stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
But Kota Damansara is a big catchment area.
Yes.
It's
Coming, up and coming.
Very up and coming.
Yeah.
There's a lot of house owners and landowners.
And new developments.
Yes, integration is very key. So we need to have this because we need to get cars off the road. One of the person commented just now that, oh, then we can drive the car to the MRT park and ride, and then we can take the MRT. That's good, but not all stations will have park and ride. I think about 13 stations will have it. Land is very premium, so we do not want to have, we cannot afford to build a park and ride at every station.
Right.
But you should take an integrated system. You take the bus to the station, or take an a taxi, or get somebody to drop you off.
That's something would probably need to be discussed in the very near future.
Exactly.
Now I'm going to hold your thought there. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be coming back with more talk on the mass rail transit, or otherwise known as the SDMTR, MRT, that's the MTRs in Hong Kong. So we're going to take a quick break, but come back with us after this on The Breakfast Show, the show that's worth waking up for. Come back to The Breakfast Show, the show that's worth waking up for. I just at least four.
You're up, right?
No, not really. I haven't been up for a long, long time, since the last 40 years. I'm, of course, with Amir, Razak, the Director of Strategic Communications and PR of MRT Corp. We've been talking about the benefits of having the MRT in Malaysia. It's supposed to be completed in 2017.
2016, the first phase, in December.
Yes.
Right. So we'll have something
Ramadan
to cheer about in 2016 when we come to that. Now, we're going to be opening up the lines. You can call us at 0355690349 if you have any questions pertaining to the MRT. In the meantime, let's go back to the question that's on everyone's lips, I suppose, especially with students, old-age pensioners, and male and female alike. Have you guys thought about costs, prices?
Yeah, we have thought about that. Well, you're talking about fares, right?
Yes.
Well, we have not, obviously, it's a bit early. Plus, you got to understand that MRT Corp's role is owner and developer.
Yeah.
It will be operated by Prasarana.
Right.
So, in the end, the final decision will be by Prasarana, considering whatever the cost of the project will be. But we also are cognizant of the fact that a public transportation system is not supposed to be. It shouldn't be
exorbitant.
It's not. It shouldn't. It's supposed to benefit the public.
Yeah.
Right.
So remember, when we do this,
because they're using the public's money anyway. So
exactly. Yeah. When the government is given this system and are able to take cars off the road,
right,
then one of the things that can happen, and I think the government will do when it happens, is that take away or remove part of the petrol subsidy. I think it's 7 billion ringgit right now, our annual petrol subsidy, and we can put that into something else. Maybe take that money. I think somebody made this great suggestion a few years ago when there was talk about how the subsidy should be used. Put that investment into an MRT system or into a public transport system, or subsidize. Use that savings to subsidize. Because you need people to take public transport. You need to entice them with a good network, you invest them with good connectivity, and with the good fares.
Oh, that's right.
I'm not going to say right now what the fare is because I don't know, but it will happen, and I'm sure the government will look at it.
I suppose the question here is, would it benefit or probably be slightly reduced for some segments of society?
Senior citizens, students, they will get the normal rates that...
However, I mean, the costs, I mean, with any massive project of this, I mean, any project of this scale, the cost will obviously will rise. I mean, that will impact on in terms of, you know, by 2016 we could be saying, oh, is it feasible to be is it going to be subsidized again from the government because we're already building something?
Well, everybody's asking about this cost. Everywhere I go, people are asking what's the cost. We do not have a cost right now, total cost right now, because we have not awarded all the packages yet. There are 85 packages to award. I think we've awarded 29, I think. We've awarded a certain amount. Yes, we've awarded 37, sorry, and 19 are calling and 29 are being not yet called. So at current award status, with most of the major portions already awarded, we're talking about a 16 billion bill at the moment.
Right.
And what facilities can we expect at each station?
The typical facilities you would expect with any MRT station in the world. We will have obviously lifts and escalators, facilities for the disabled, parking in some of the stations. The biggest parking allocations will be in the beginning of the lines and the end of the lines, depending where you're coming from. 1,500 in Kajang and 1,500 in Sungai Buloh. Of course, there will be automated fare payment machines. At some stations, there may be some retail space.
Now, in terms of integration, will the other problem that may occur is a integrated payment system?
Great question, Rashid, because we're working on this. In fact, the tender closed, I think, on the 23rd of July. Yes, I think so. It's called an automated fare collection.
Right.
What we want to achieve now is where you can start a journey on an MRT line, but finish your journey even as far as the ERL line. But your payment point is actually at MRT.
Right.
Or you can start on a monorail line, your journey, and end it on an MRT line.
Exactly.
But payment point is just one. This closed fare collection system will allow for absolute integration. Right now, we don't have that yet.
We have the smart tag.
Yeah.
We've got people still using cards. Some using.
No, I think the touch and go can still, or a system like touch and go can still be the basis of the system.
Right.
But you need a system where there's an automated fare collection. There's a clearinghouse like a bank. So if you start your journey in MRT but end it in monorail, then that portion of monorail will be cleared by the clearinghouse to monorail operators.
Well, I think that's good because my wallet is getting thicker with too many cards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Way too many cards.
Now, when it comes to the measures of putting, the project to make it kind of easy and let life to go on for the major public. Is there any measures that are going to be put in place?
I think you're starting to see some work now. I think beginning June, July, there was a lot of work starting in Jalan Damansara, in Sungai Buloh, as well as in Kajang. You will expect, I think, beginning next month to have a lot more traffic jams because we're starting to build now.
So to go back to Sarawak for me.
But how are we addressing this? There's what is called a traffic management plan, or TMP. All our project work contractors or work project contractors have to have a plan which is approved by the local authorities.
Right.
One of the principles of the plan is we cannot close a lane. We cannot close a lane. Okay. If we're going to close a lane, let's say we're going to happen in Bukit Bintang, for example, in front of Bukit Bintang Plaza. There are 3 lanes there. Bukit Bintang Plaza, 3 lanes, and Hotel Agora or something like that. We're going to divert this towards Bukit Bintang Plaza. So the 3 lanes here will move to 3 lanes here. So we're going to keep the 3 lanes flowing. Work will be done here. If at all we have to close any one or more than 1 lane, what will happen is we have to do it only between 12 midnight and 5 a.m.
Okay.
Cannot do it during peak traffic hours.
Right.
So this is a huge part of the traffic management plan because we understand, remember there's LRT being built at the moment, extension all over Subang Jaya.
Yeah.
So we need to ensure that public is not absolutely inconvenienced. There will be some inconvenience. We have to admit this is a system which needs to be done. The other reason why the other 3 lines should also be completed by 2020, the other 2 lines, because we want to get it over and done with in one go. Somewhere in the process of building line 1, we'll start line 2 and also line 3, so that by 2020, when we deliver all the 3 lines, everything will be completed.
Right, okay.
No more jams after that.
Now, for our viewers out there, this is something that affects us all. It's a major, major project involving the Klang Valley. So if you have any questions regarding this, the MRT, and how you can benefit or how it affects you, do call us at our number 0355690349.
Now, obviously, a lot of people have also been concerned about historical buildings and heritage buildings. Especially, you've mentioned off-air that you'll be building, obviously, tunneling underground as well. How will that impact on?
Okay, I'm going to start this answer to this question by saying that we've got to define this. What is heritage and what is historical and what is old? There are 3 lines here. MRT Corporation understands and values. Let's go straight to Jalan Sultan. This is where the issue of heritage is being addressed. Being brought up. Jalan Sultan is very historical.
I will let you carry on.
Yeah, we can just stop you there for a moment.
Stall you, divert you. I'm not going to take away your lane. We have a caller, Haji Osman from USJ on the line.
Hello.
Very good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
Okay, just a simple question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because in the past, regarding this LRT, MRT, and monorail,
Yes.
I think those transport has never been friendly with the handicap. So how friendly are you with the handicap on this MRT construction?
All right.
Thank you, Don Haji.
Thank
you very much.
We touched lightly on that just now.
We are actually designed to be able to handle handicapped people.
Okay,
that's the best answer, the short answer.
Especially,
Wheelchair,
stairs,
ramps,
and
specialized lifts for disabled people on wheelchair. It's all built in. This is the best thing about having to look at other systems operating around the world and the current system we have in Malaysia and what are the shortcomings. We take it, we package it into one system which will cover everything.
So the answer to your question is yes, there will be a lot of facilities.
I just hope it's not talking about the LRT line, but I cannot speak for the LRT line, but he lives in the USJ.
Yeah.
But I think they will also have that system.
They should anyway. I mean that's probably should be a given.
Should be a given. What are we talking about?
The heritage building.
Yes.
I haven't forgotten. Getting senile, but not that senile.
First of all, we understand, we recognize that Jalan Sultan is a huge part of Kuala Lumpur. This is where Kuala Lumpur began. Yap Aloy walked these streets here.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's nice.
It's nice.
His holy feet,
Yeah.
probably had holes in his sandals.
Yeah, and so we recognize that, and we are not going to do anything to damage this. Got to remember, when MRT first started, the original plan was actually to acquire and demolish. True.
Right.
Then MRT Corp came to the picture, and our CEO, Dr. Azhar Abdul Hamid, said, look, let's do it a different way. Let's try and, what we call, let's coexist. Let's find a mutual agreement.
Right.
So we started with talking to the people and say, okay, we are not going to acquire now, but let's allow us to tunnel beneath you, about 25 meters below.
Right.
Our current landlords do not provide for this, so you need to get permission from them so that they can alter the title that it belongs to Rashid Saleh, to Lisa Wong, and they allow MRT to run underneath them at a certain height.
That's what I found out, that in Malaysia, if you acquire land, and that land is a freehold, it belongs to you, all that until the center of the earth belongs to you. Is that right?
Well, technically, but really,
I thought that
how
was amazing.
deep are you really going to maybe?
Hey, you never know.
You never know.
Could be
People
multi-story,
have-
but
You might end up in Alaska, so you don't want. Back to the question.
Yes.
We're not going to do any. We're not going to damage any buildings because we're not going to demolish one. We're going to tunnel underneath. If there are any damage during construction below, this will be made good. Then people are going to say, but you're demolishing 3 buildings right now. Well, we're taking down 3 buildings. One is taken down already, the Klang bus stand, the Plaza Warisan, and UO, Uda Ocean Plaza. These are old buildings. I would say they are not very old. They built in the 80s. This is where you dated. I saw you once.
I was far away. Okay, anyway.
These buildings are old, but they're not heritage, they're not historical. Bus stand Klang has outlived its usefulness. It can only take, I think, 4,000 people a day in terms of its capacity right now. So we need to build a system now. The system will be underground, and there's a chance to reinvigorate the area above that. So I think people need to understand that we are going to go there, tunnel underneath in about 3 weeks, and be out of there. And then those buildings will remain as it is. And I can bring 20,000 people to this area an hour to feel Jalan Sultan, to admire Jalan Sultan.
Right.
So for the businesses there, 20,000 people an hour is a massive amount of people that I can bring.
So, I mean, for the businesses around these areas, I mean,
It's a
all you
boom.
can see, exactly, it's a boom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, how much would it appeal, and is there any campaign to get people to use it once it's all set up and running?
Yes, right now we are about to launch a campaign which will encourage people to talk positively about this project, because the fact is, we had a 91% approval rating when we did our public display. 91%, right? So the thing is, we now want to get people to voice out. To encourage them to use, it's a bit too early now, it's a bit aspirational, don't even see a pylon
The build-up.
Exactly.
The build-up.
That's
We'll
the pipe
do that.
dream.
Yeah, we'll do that as soon as we see more, maybe about a year
And the expected date?
of completion.
Yes.
The
First phase,
2016.
December 2016 up
December.
to Samantan, up to Damansara Heights,
Okay.
and then all the way by July 2017.
Well, thank you very much, Amir, for being here for the last 2 segments on the show, for explaining to the public
In depth.
what the MRT is all about and how it will obviously benefit.
We're happy to be here.
Yes, well, we're happy to know that finally there's going to be an MRT up, and I tell you what, I will probably be one of the first people.
Every
when the
day.
LRT first came on, I was one of the first people to try.
If you have a VVIP card, maybe you can extend to him.
Well, he's a Tottenham Hotspur's fan, so I have to think about that. So
You're not, obviously, you're...
I'm a rugby player, so we're going to say thank you very much for being
Thank you very
on the
much.
breakfast show. We'll be talking a lot more. If you have any more questions about it, do like us on Facebook on NTV7 TBS.
And they have a website as well.
And they have a website as well.
kvmrt.com.my to obtain more information on the project.
Right, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back after this on The Breakfast Show.